Well, good morning. This time from a cold state of Florida. I am halfway down the peninsula and it is 30, probably 36 degrees by now. Yeah, she's cold out there. And I can't believe I had to run the heat like I was back in the old Maine. But anyways, anyhow, and anyhow. Folks, some of your comments really is something. I appreciate them. I appreciate all your comments. How am I going to learn about how everybody feels, or at least most people, if you don't comment on my videos? The thumbs up that you give me helps me makes me feel I'm doing something good, or at least hopefully something right. But before we get going, if you would like to subscribe to this channel, give me a thumbs up. That would be absolutely awesome. Today is about the last days of Mr. Biden. I probably worded it a little different on but his short stint of being called president-elect is pretty much getting close to being finished. It's really a trip how many people are in America. I'm not talking about outside of America. No, I mean, not Americans. I'm talking about it's really surprised me of all the Americans that call this man Biden president-elect. I mean, I was hope that most of you had your ears open when you were in school, when you were taught this. But nobody is president-elect until all of the ballots have been certified. Hell, they ain't all even been counted yet, let alone be certified. He hasn't even got 270. In fact, it looks like Arizona and Pennsylvania and Michigan will be taking away their certification and their electoral votes for him sometime this week. He'll be way, way lower than Trump because they proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I've watched them all, folks. You can ask me any question you want. I've watched all 3 hearings. Sometimes they're a little boring, but you know what I got out of these 3 hearings, folks? These are people who come forward, witnesses. They sign affidavits. If you're not sure what that is, basically you lie, you go to prison, 14 years. Maybe a little less, all depends on the judge. All depends on your record. But I don't think too many are going to risk their life of 14 years or a little less or whatever just to get up there for a few minutes and just to tell a lie. That's just stupid. But anyways, I know I wouldn't, because I've been to a prison, not because I was a prisoner, because I was a cop. I was a deputy sheriff. But even before that, in the state of Maine, I went to the Maine State Prison. Before they closed it down, they let everyone go in and take a tour of it. Let me tell you something. You can see all them prison shows on TV, but when you're there in person, it's a whole different ballgame. You get the smells, the noise firsthand without it being filtered through a mic, and you get to sit in their so-called racks or bunks that they sleep in at night. The pillows are as hard as you can imagine. I mean, the mattresses are as hard as you can imagine. They're probably 2 feet wide. I sat down on that bunk and put my back against the wall, and when I went like this, and I could touch the other wall, 4 feet wide by 9 feet long. If you want to live in there by telling a lie, you're a more moron than I have ever thought of anyone being. But I don't think anybody's going to get up there, which I've seen hundreds of witnesses. And they almost appear to be the exact same in the 3 states so far out of the 5 or 6. They haven't gone to the other ones yet. Pennsylvania sounds identical to Arizona. Arizona sounds identical to Michigan. And I think Rudy Giuliani is right. This was a conspiracy of those 5 or 6 states because they all shut down at the exact same time and did the exact same thing, had ballots already set up, and they kept coming in even after the election. They had to. They had to keep stuffing and stuffing and stuffing to make Biden's numbers go big and big and big. They had to because they didn't realize that Senor Trump was going to kick his, you know what, like he said he was going to, and he did. So, anyways, up to 280 ballots vanished in a move from New York to Pennsylvania. Did you know it's a federal crime to move any ballots across any state lines? I bet you those ballots weren't for Trump, were they? But they happened to be gone. They vanished. They found out that they were found out about moving them. So they had to get rid of them before they got caught. Because you guarantee you, they were all marked for Biden. Now, don't forget, there's one thing we haven't been hearing much lately about the U.S. military does have evidence because of this U.S. Special Forces raid in Germany. Like I said, we haven't heard much about that. Maybe that's their ace in the hole. Because you heard about Sydney. She's got a press conference today around 1 o'clock this afternoon, maybe early, I'm not sure. Excuse me. The judge down in Georgia, first he says, nobody can touch these machines. Nobody can put any new programs in it because if you do, wipe away the old program, there's no way you're going to be able to figure out what happened. Well, then after he did that, go ahead, forget it. I'm not going to uphold that law. And then a few minutes later, he goes back. No, you got to stop. No, you can't do anything to these machines. Well, that's good. Well, kind of a little bit too late. They're missing. Voting machines disappeared. I mean, come on. What is it? 4 weeks ago today, 3 weeks ago, whatever. What is it? Yeah. 4 weeks ago today. And you didn't think these would just happen to disappear by now? Well, I don't know why they didn't do this a little bit sooner. But anyways, I've never seen so many witnesses come forward with affidavits. And I can't even begin to tell you a fraction of the witnesses that were there that told sworn testimonies of what they seen and what they heard. Folks, if you can't believe by now that this was a fraudulent, stolen election orchestrated all by the Democrats, you need to go back to school or you need to get out of my country because there's something wrong with you. I mean, if you want to believe so hard that Biden's president, jump on a plane and head over to freaking Hugo Chavez's country and stay there because that's what this country will be like if Biden gets in. Because Biden won't run it. He'll be out in a matter of a year or less. Harris will be your president. And God help you after that. You know, things are really going to start happening. And actually, they really have things behind the scenes that you don't even know. One of the things that came up the other day, my friend used to work. I didn't know. I didn't see him for 35 years. I bumped into him. This was back in 2012 when I bumped into him, I think. Because I moved back to Maine for a while. He says, guess where I've been? I said, I don't know. Well, Gordon, I've worked under 3 different presidents. Well, to make a long story short, I was so excited to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time. I brought him back. I invited him back to the house. He says he couldn't. He said, so we made it for another day. He brought his wife over, his pastor and his wife. Wow, it was great. We had a good time. Real quick, he goes, I worked under 3 different presidents. He says, I worked for 3 years specifically for Obama. He says, if you knew what I knew, what Obama has done, what's coming to this country that cannot be stopped, if you didn't have a sane mind, you would kill yourself. That's what he said. The other thing he said is there was no way America put Obama in for a second term. That's what came out yesterday. Those damn voting machines kicked your real vote out for whoever it was. Was it McCain or whatever? And gave it to Obama to make sure he stayed as the president. That's all going to come out. Did yesterday, started to. Now, as I said, the mainstream media is making this much worse than it would have been normally. They keep pushing this narrative that Biden won, he's going to win, there's no evidence, blah, blah, blah. And pretty soon, they're going to come forward and say, now we've got the winner. It is Donald Trump, because it will be. These people are going to go freaking nuts. A lot worse than they would have been. I would start hanging some of these media folks for what they've done. Now, we got some serious times that are coming. Trump will finally be proclaimed, or whatever you call it, president here in the next few weeks. One of the prophets, as of late, last night, said this is going to be one of the greatest Christmases, because God is going to give us a great Christmas present. I don't think it takes a kid to even figure that. I mean, anybody can figure out what that means. Donald Trump is going to still be our president. I've been saying this for months because I believe in the prophets. All right, I'm going to get out of here. This is the old man, Gordon Bradley. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd appreciate it. If you like what I said, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. That would be nice. Makes me feel good. If not, I will see you later on today. Sidney Powell is supposed to have her thing around, well, it said 1 o'clock, but sometimes it's earlier, so I don't know. If you don't have any way of hearing, I'll get on here and tell you what they say, just in case you don't know. All right, God bless our veterans, and God bless our firemen and women. God bless our men and women in blue. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what we'd do. God bless our first responders, and God bless our president. Do not stop praying. Please do not stop praying for our president until he's finally sworn in January. And God bless America. All right, I'll be back on later. Don't forget, God's got this in control. Everything is going to be fine. He's got a plan, and it's a perfect one. Fear not. Don't be afraid. God bless. Okay, take care. We will see you.